Welcome back to the React Room. I'm your boy Dom K. Of course, I'm back in here solo dolo the gay. Fresh off a long, eventful week. Everything coming up again. I want to remind y'all one more time. Thank you for the birthday wishes again. In case someone didn't watch the last videos and watch my thank you, I wanted to do it 2 days in a row and tell everybody thank you for the views, thank you for the birthday wishes, thank you for the likes. It's helping the channel grow. It keeps me motivated, and I just want to thank you all again from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. Today we got BTS documentary. It will give you goosebumps. A documentary from 2013 to 2025. It's by Only Nuggets. I'm gonna put the link in the description. You guys can check out their channel. They don't have much work, but they got one video. It got like almost 500K views. And you know me, I'm down for anything BTS. I want to check it out, see what's going on, see, get my thoughts on it. It's been a long couple of weeks, man, before I get into the video. Again, we got a lot of stuff going, a lot of music, a lot of stuff coming up. I got my own video essay dropping tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, I got a video essay dropping tomorrow. I'm gonna let y'all know about that later, but I'm definitely gonna keep y'all updated on that. But about this video, and I saw, oh yeah, one more comment. I saw someone saying, listen, man, the new people who come to the channel, you gotta look into my videos before you actually just be commenting. Now I know what the fans are gonna say, what my subscribers are gonna say. Oh, Tom, you can't let one comment. You're right. But I always see these comments that bother me because it's like, why do people do this? Do they do any work? Like I saw one comment in particular, my team responded, but I looked at it and I was like, what are they talking about? It was like, Dom, he doesn't do music. I was like, yo, do you not realize that I have over 100 videos on this channel? At least 75 to 80 of those videos are music. If you just do a little work before comment, I probably have, 20, 25 videos of guides and documentaries and funny clips, maybe 25, 30 at the max. 70 to 75% of all my videos are music reactions. I would say at least 75 to 80%. So I don't mind the comments. I'll take any comment, but just please, just do a little research. I know you probably looked at the last 10, 15 videos because we try to switch it up a little bit, keep the channel fresh. We don't want to be repetitive. But most of the music, it was done like, just the videos are there. That's all I'm saying. The videos are there. Just please take a look. And again, I like doing documentaries. I like growing my knowledge. I like doing all of this stuff. And, I'm going to get into it today. Furthermore, before we start, the video essay, because I didn't want to lose my train of thought before I said that. So the video essay that's dropping tomorrow, it's my personal opinion video essay. I put facts in there. It took a week to get it done. I hope you guys like it. It's basically, I can tell y'all now, doesn't matter, it's dropping tomorrow anyway. It's why BTS succeeds in the West and other K-pop acts don't. It's basically me explaining why BTS was able to successfully take over America and North America and Europe, and other K-pop acts struggle, and they manipulate their numbers and they manipulate their tour numbers and they manipulate their album sales to make it seem like they're big, but when they go to these stadiums, they're not actually sold out, and they're not actually stadiums. And why people know who BTS is, and then when you say other groups, some people know, but 90% of people don't know. I'm going to be explaining that. So that video essay, whatever you want to call it, is basically going to explain why BTS is successful in the Western markets and other K-pop acts struggle. So that's dropping tomorrow. I want you guys to check that out. But today, BTS documentary, it will give you goosebumps 2013 to 2025. Now, I will make my own BTS documentary really, really soon, probably in about another week or two, but it's gonna take 2 weeks. One thing about the documentaries are, they're very informative, but this is 17 minutes. So I don't know how you're gonna put these guys' career into 17 minutes, but I'm open to finding out. So here we go, BTS documentary, it will give you goosebumps.
Known, just a group of 7 young boys trying to make it in the music industry, facing constant setbacks, failures, racist remarks, and insults from radio show hosts, feeling like giving up and almost saying goodbye to their careers. Little did they know that within a few years, they'd become one of the world's most renowned Korean boy bands. They have
The most known Korean boy band. I'm gonna correct you right there. Not one. This video was made 11 months ago. The most known.
come so far. They have made history. They have paved the way for talent. This is their story, a roller coaster journey of failure and success, desperation and triumph that has captivated millions of fans across the globe. This is how the BTS international sensation made it from zero to hero. This story is going to change the way you look at life. It's not a story, it's a motivation for everyone watching right now. Let's look at this inspiring story that changed the lives of many people all around the world. Let's take you to 2010 when BTS was nothing. Big Hit was almost bankrupt. During these times, Big Hit decided to give BTS a try with a fresh concept and new faces. Debut another boy band named BTS that might change things. It was a difficult thing. Things were uncertain, but Big Hit took that risk. In 2013, BTS debuted. They were so excited and worked hard for this. And finally, BTS performed for the first time. Do you think it was because they liked BTS's talent? No. This chance was given to BTS just because the scheduled performance was canceled. Looking back at this, it makes me so angry. Imagine how many groups still face this type of treatment. If you think that's worse, then prepare yourself for the next part. Because most times, whenever BTS performed in the shows, their performances were not broadcasted or cut off because compared to other big companies with lots of money, Big Hit was not a big shot. They didn't have enough money to spend on marketing, promotion. Even the clothes they wore were really cheap, due to which many people accused them of plagiarism. That's why the boys did what they could to promote themselves. The boys went to the streets with tickets in their hands, giving it to many people for free. Yes. And even after that, how many people joined? Only 400 armies. But BTS didn't let these small setbacks disappoint them, and since this was just the start, the boys were so ambitious. The next year, Boy in Love was released. BTS worked hard on this concept. It was a schoolboy concept popular among many big K-pop groups, and fans loved it. Even if you still watch this video, it will feel like a breeze of fresh air, but the reaction BTS got from this release was completely unexpected. They were accused of copying this concept, which is such a ridiculous thing. Because this type of concept is really popular in K-pop, and it made me wonder why some K-pop fans went this far to discourage a group that's completely new in K-pop. The worst thing was the backlash from the media, and even when they went to a variety show, the host didn't hesitate to talk about plagiarism. However, Suga handled the situation pretty well. He said we had already shot the video and everything was ready, but somehow times overlapped and things didn't go as planned. Even after that, BTS was accused many times of copying concepts of famous boy bands, copying outfits to get some clout. Some went too far, saying that BTS even plagiarized their logo, which is enough to break anyone who is starting their career in K-pop. But BTS didn't look back, and the boys courageously moved forward. And after 2 years, they won their first music show award. BTS were on cloud 9, and so was the fandom. Things were going pretty well until haters entered the chat. Yes, some haters said that Big Hit bought albums, that's why sales went up. So in short, this win didn't earn any positive reputation for BTS. But these claims were buried in the dust because Big Hit wasn't doing well then. They were using managers in music videos to cut the cost of hiring people and buying $14 clothes. So buying albums in huge quantities was just a ridiculous claim by haters. Moving forward, BTS was accused of spreading misogyny with controversial lyrics. The lyrics of songs such as Hormone War and Rap Monster's Joke were controversial. The fans of BTS considered these lyrics as a crass reference to general men in South Korea. Even the 2014 song Boy in Love became controversial because it had some childish lyrics and forced women despite their choices and consent. BTS didn't hesitate to accept their mistake. Instead, they apologized and released an official statement on Fan Cafe. Then the most saddest moment happened that still brings tears in the eyes of every ARMY. When Jungkook went to a variety show at the Flower Crew, Jungkook brought hamburgers, Coke, Sprite, and bacon for the people. Jungkook offered it to them, but they straight up rejected it. Like, seriously? What's the harm in accepting such a sweet offer? In the video, when Jungkook says this, sadness is clearly visible on his face. Why are they not accepting it? But things took a quick turn, and years later, Grammy-nominated artists BTS were invited to TVN's U Quiz on the Block. And the host was Jo Se-ho, the same man who disrespected BTS. This is what we call karma. Do you agree? And ARMY didn't let it slide and trended many hashtags asking him to apologize. Due to so much pressure from netizens, he apologized. I am also sorry if I have made the audience feel uncomfortable. I may have acted differently since I was trying to get to know Jungkook and Kim Min-suk. BTS members had a good time in that show, and the ARMY also enjoyed it. In 2016, BTS released Wings album that broke worldwide records, and that made BTS one step closer to worldwide recognition. However, then a really alarming thing happened. The leader of BTS, RM, got injured. RM could not perform at the 2016 Kpop World Festival because of health issues. The agency released an official statement that RM felt severe pain while practicing. He was taken to an orthopedist immediately, and there was a high chance of a stress fracture in his leg. Although x-rays showed that he is doing fine, to avoid any inconvenience, he needs rest. For the Busan One Asia Festival on October 1, he didn't perform as well. BTS didn't feel really good without their leader, their support RM. But what I'm about to say next is the peak of unprofessional attitude of organizers. The performance was a complete mess. BTS gave their best. Singing, dancing, everything was next level. But there was no lighting, no cameras, only fan cams recorded this performance. The boys put in so much effort and were literally sweating after giving an energetic performance. And this is the response they got. Really disappointing. The worst part is that the performance wasn't even broadcasted. BTS didn't face rude attitudes from organizers and netizens, but even from their managers. There is a video of one of the BTS managers raising his hand to hit Jungkook. According to several netizens, the manager is saying, "Get lost while I'm still speaking nicely." The clip is from BTS 2016 Seasons Greetings DVD, Making Video. On December 10, Big Hit released an official apology through Twitter, stating that they are sorry for making fans worried and have taken strict action against the manager in question. In concert, when BTS was performing, Taehyung shared the news of his grandmother's death with ARMYs. If you are an ARMY, you might know V shared a very close bond with his granny, stated. Even at this grieving incident when V deserved support, and people should send condolences or leave him alone to mourn him for the loss, Antis decided to make things even worse for him. Antis not only sent death threats to him, but also said he should have gone with his grandma and made many more rude comments which are purely evil. Things were getting out of hand, and there was no sign of Antis stopping. After many disrespectful comments and death threats, Big Hit Entertainment made an official statement. We would like to announce that from November 10th, 2016, we will take strong legal actions against malicious online rumors, false information, personal attacking posts and comments, etc. that will harm the reputation of BTS members. But do you think any statement like that would stop Antis from saying negative things about BTS? Yes, you are right. It didn't stop them at all. In 2017, Jimin, the singer of BTS, received many death threats. Due to this, Big Hit increased security. ARMY made a human barricade with hands to show support and love for BTS, which is the most loving event in BTS history, and not many people know about it. In 2017, BTS was invited to the BBMAs. For a K-pop group, it's a huge achievement. The boys were happy and motivated to start a new chapter for BTS. They were so young then and completely new in a foreign country. They had a lot of pressure and were shy, and most members didn't speak English fluently. They were called names, made fun of, and humiliated for not knowing a foreign language, which is so weird. And BTS can proudly say now that they broke the stereotype. To become successful and get international recognition, it's not important to know English. You only need talent and sheer dedication. For BTS, things were clearly going downhill, and this wasn't the first time. Even in the past, whenever BTS won awards, antis crashed the website of respected award shows, accused BTS of cheating, found some excuses to say negative things about them, or in the worst cases, sent death threats to the members, which was their last resort mostly. In a festa, RM mentioned that 2015, 2016, and 2017 were the toughest times for him. Suga added that they got so much hate during these years. In 2018, BTS even thought about saying goodbye to Big Hit and disbanding, which is a huge thing in itself, leaving your passion forever. Just imagine the amount of hate they got that they even decided to take this extreme step. In late fall of 2018, one of BTS members, Jimin, wore a t-shirt and on the back, there were drawings of atomic bombings of Japan during World War II, plus Koreans celebrating because they got freedom from Japan. The words written on the shirt were patriotism, our history, liberation, and Korea. TV Asahi Network said, "We have seen the news that a t-shirt worn by one of the members has set off a furor, and after asking their record company about this, we have made the decision to postpone their appearance on our November 9 show." BTS also apologized to people and fans who were looking forward to the broadcast. But it looked like the main problem wasn't the shirt, but something more. Western media and many netizens started spreading misinformation about the entire incident. Seeing this, ARMY didn't hesitate to show their support and love. They even compiled a 166-page paper named White Paper Project. They shared authentic information, stats, and the entire history of this rivalry, which made another point clear that never underestimate the power of armies. 2018 was overall a tough year for BTS. They revealed things were tough for them. Next is Naver and BTS.
Oh, this documentary a little weird. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I mean, it's cool. Some of the information is good, but I don't know, man. It seemed like, I don't know, from my opinions or so far, it seemed like they're missing so much in between, and they're not really talking about who they are. And it seems like they're just focusing on the negative. Like, I'll give you an example. If this documentary was called BTS Documentary, The Hardships of BTS, and they talked about all of the problems they went through, then yeah, this would make sense. Because mostly all of this is, say it's about 70% negative, 30%. And again, this stuff might be true, but this isn't really a documentary to me. To me, it's just them talking about events that they like. Because again, if I'm watching this documentary, you're not really explaining who the individuals are, how do they really form. You just say, oh, big hit, put them together. And then you only talking about, yeah, there's a lot of negative stuff that happened, but you got to talk about some of the positive stuff that happened too. And again, for me, I'm just watching it because I know all of this already. It's just like, I wouldn't really call this a documentary. I'll call this, again, if this was a documentary on hardships, maybe. But let's finish it. See what's up.
Naver is a social media app for K-pop fans and artists to interact with each other. From news to articles, everything related to K-pop is here. However, they faced millions of loss. In 2020, according to Insider, BTS held an online concert through Weavers. BTS earned almost $20,769,310 in revenue from 756,000 tickets. So to compensate for the loss, Naver joined hands with another organization, and from there, more fuel was added to the entire situation. But this is completely fine, because Naver have never openly supported BTS. Armies became detectives and dug into the situation, finding the missing clues to the puzzle. When one army tweeted about why you should use Weavers and exposed Naver, Naver is basically blocking BTS articles from their main page. Another army reported that Naver always blocks good articles about BTS, like breaking worldwide records, but somehow bad articles about them are always on the top page. And this gave armies enough reason to join Weavers and never ever use Naver again. In 2020, the parliament revised the law and made some significant changes. It allowed people who presented the country on an international level and added to the country's reputation, excelled in the field of popular art to defer their enlistment until 30, and armies all over the world were overjoyed. In South Korea, all physically and mentally healthy men aged 18 and older must enlist in the military by the age of 28 for around 18 to 21 months. For now, only Olympians, athletes, and some reputable artists are exempted from enlistment. Jin is serving in the military right now, but at that time it was a huge thing for any artist. Likewise, other BTS members will also face enlistment as time approaches. Armies were overjoyed at this news, but many agencies and people didn't like this revision in the law. According to a survey conducted by the National Defense Committee, 60.9% of people favor BTS getting exempted from military service. Meanwhile, 34.3% were unhappy with it and called it discrimination against others. In 2021, more than 25 music agencies also wrote that the new law is unfair and discriminates against other artists, which is considered somewhat illogical because BTS alone was adding millions to the economy of South Korea. And that's what made the government conclude that these boys deserve this. And they have done a lot for their homeland. Moving on, BTS was nominated as the Best Duo Group Performance. However, BTS didn't win the award, but that's not what made the ARMY furious. ARMY stated that Grammys used BTS for clout. Fans noticed that BTS were also treated poorly. Fans added Grammys kept talking about BTS's performance. A German show host, Matthias Matuschik, openly expressed his racist remarks and called BTS Corona. He even said BTS should go to North Korea for the next 20 years. Celebrity Steve Aoki defended BTS. He said, "Unacceptable the way radio host Matthias Matuschik speaks hate and racism in general, let alone to my brothers. I stand with BTS." Due to a lot of pressure, he apologized and said he underestimated the huge fan potential behind BTS's 3 letters. He was even removed from hosting any segment of Beyond 3. In 2022, BTS shared a video about something that surprised the ARMY worldwide. It is a temporary hiatus. One member added, "We've talked among ourselves several times, and we believe it's good to take some time apart." During the FIFA World Cup, Jungkook was the star. He gave an amazing performance, which increased his fan list, but many ARMYs and netizens were furious by this news. During a recent live stream of Jungkook, he shared with the ARMY that he brought chicken for Jimin and invited him to eat together. Some people called him jobless, annoying, and desperate for attention. The group did years of hard work, polished themselves, and emerged as a gem. Some fans defend this by saying that idols must go through these things, but it's time for a positive change in which we treat K-pop celebrities like humans. Be a part of this amazing community where we talk about K-pop, BTS, and much more. Watch more interesting videos here.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't really like that documentary. I'm gonna be real. I don't really want to talk negative about it, but you know, on this channel, I keeps it 100. I think that documentary sucked. I think it was just all negative. And don't get me wrong, no one know. If you guys know, if you watch my videos, you guys know exactly how I feel about people hating on BTS. You know exactly I'm the first one to defend them. But to gather their illustrious, legendary career in 12 years and make it 80% negative, and you didn't mention really anything positive. Yeah, the Grammys did, you know how everybody's know how I feel about the Grammys. Everybody know how I got a disdain for them. But it was still a great accomplishment to be the first Koreans to be nominated for the awards. It was still an accomplishment to go #1 and to have all these #1 albums and #1 hits. You didn't really mention any of that. You didn't really mention any of the solo stuff that went #1. You didn't really mention any of the legendary performances like the 2019 and the 2020 Mama Award. You didn't mention the Festa. You didn't mention any of the the great videos that were shot, all of the videos that reached 1 billion views. You didn't mention any of the legendary stuff. You just mentioned all negative stuff and made it seem like this group is just, no one likes them except for the army and they were hated and blah. I just think you did a disservice to BTS. You did a disservice to the, I mean, you made the army look good because they always defend it, but you make it seem like, okay, yeah, they did that in the airport, but the army's done so much more than just lock arms in the airport. You didn't say how the army basically was thanking radio stations for giving them an opportunity, how they sent gifts, how they always was polite to everybody, how you didn't say how they packed these stadiums. You didn't say how they did like all of these concerts and they raised all of this money and how these people did all of these great organizations. You didn't put any of the great quotes that they said about not retaliating. And I just, like I said, for me, just knowing what I know, I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like it was a completely negative documentary. And like I said, maybe I would have liked it if the name would have been BTS documentary, the hardships that BTS went through or the negative attention BTS received. Then I would be more receptive to it because I'm like, oh, okay, she's just pointing out the negative stuff. Cool, but to say it will give you goosebumps, goosebumps is something positive. When you get goosebumps, that's like saying, I got goosebumps when I watch 2020 Mama in 2019. I got goosebumps when I watched Save Me. I got goosebumps when I heard Dynamite. I got goosebumps when I heard Nicki on Idol. This didn't give me goosebumps. This gave me like, whatever. But hey, you took your time to make a documentary, and I'm proud that you did it, and that's what's up. Anyways, I'll give this documentary a 5 out of 10. I don't think I would recommend it to anybody or watch it. That's just my personal opinion. But I do appreciate them trying, and I do appreciate the effort. And that's about it on that. So again, guys, you guys tell me in the comments, what do you think about BTS documentary will give you goosebumps? Am I being too hard on it? Is there something I missed? How do you think I feel about it? You know me, I love to point out the negative, but I also love to point out the positive. And I just don't think you can have a documentary with the biggest group in the world competing with being one of the best group of all time, competing for that spot of all music, to put it into a 17-minute documentary and it's only negative. Nah, this is my opinion. You guys tell me in the comments what you think. And again, I'm gonna let you know when a real documentary is dropping next week, but I got a video essay coming out tomorrow, my own personal video essay. Why did BTS succeed in the West and why other K-pop groups fail? You guys make sure to check that out. It's gonna drop tomorrow. But again, tell me what your thoughts in the comments is about this whole thing. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Always with love. Peace.